Have you ever done a full or a partial foil service on a client? It's time to present their hair forward over their shoulders, and staring back at you are two dark panels on either side. Why did this happen? Where did the blonde go? I'm so excited to present to you the 6-card stack technique. This technique is going to take you through the ins and outs of being able to foil with not just accuracy, but fluidity as well, ensuring that you have a hairline that matches what the desired end result is of the client. My name is Adrienne Dara, and I'm a Redken Global Artistic Ambassador. If you like Redken education, make sure to like this video, comment below what it is that you want to learn next, and hit that subscribe button. So my decision to use the 6-card stack technique really came down to evaluating the hair as a whole. So the very first thing that I'm gonna do is kind of be like a little detective. I'm gonna pick up this back section because I want you to see something. We see that there is almost no color at the base of her nape here. And this is an opportunity that we have to really make sure that we're giving her not just the coverage that she wants, but avoiding having those dark panels, which sometimes can almost feel like there was a gap in the color application. In the front, her color looks beautiful. It's so seamless already. But something that I want to point out, it's important that I make sure I give her a color that's not going to have as strong of a demarcation, something that's going to have more fluidity in the grow out, and she will be able to dictate when she needs her hair done again, not just the color. Remember, if you're doing highlights and lowlights on a client, it doesn't have to mean that every section contains highlights and lowlights. Sometimes we get into a place where we start foiling and we get lost in our foil work. How do we avoid that? Again, it's this initial inspection. We're gonna wanna make sure that we have a heavier concentration of highs, so when this hair falls, it falls and it drapes over the back, creating a beautiful veil and casting on the hair. This is how you map out hair color so that you can go in with a confident plan. The inception point of any effective foil service starts with the sectioning. Now that our sectioning is complete, let me take you through each of the pieces. We started, as you can see, in the back of the head. We have 2 sections on either side, splitting the head into 2, just mirroring each other. We have a V-like section at the top curvature of the head. This will be your veil that will create that really seamless dimensional tone. On the side of the head, from top of the head to directly behind the ear, we have sectioned that off, and we've mirrored it on the other side as well. And our final section, we found out where the depth was by utilizing our comb to find the curvature of the head and where it lays flat. Then we extended our triangle section from the arch of the brow on either side of the head. And those are our 6 sections for our 6-card stack. So now it's time for us to go into our application. I'm using Blonde IQ 9 Plus at a 1 to 1.5 mixing ratio with the designated 20 volume developer. I'm starting my application in the back of the head, and I'll be mirroring this on both sides. When we begin the application as a whole, we want to also pay attention to the way that the hair is naturally falling. We can see that the hair here is going to be falling forward over the shoulder, whereas we see that the hair that is presented in the back is going to fall more straight down. It's really about understanding what the needs are of the client. So the first section that you're going to take at the base of the nape, there should actually be hair in between that and the foil itself. Am I slicing or am I weaving? Well, think of it this way. A slice is going to get you coverage. A weave is going to get you more softness. So when we're doing our lowlights, we'll be weaving for softness, but when we're doing our highlights with Blonde IQ, we'll be slicing to get coverage. If you notice, I teased about 3 to 4 times, very light-handed in my tease. That's because I like to actually paint directly up into the tease to create more softness in the transition. So the starting point of my application with my lightener is going to be in the mid shaft, and I'm going to work my way down. The last part of the application will be painting up into the tees. And when I do show that to you, I want to call out that it might feel a little nerve-wracking because of the fact that it's going to be all these little speckles of lightener that are living within the tees. But all of those are essentially creating a mini base bump so that the transition from the natural base into that dimensional blonde are so much softer. So you can notice I shifted my brush. When I was painting in the mid shaft, I was using my brush more on a horizontal, but now I'm changing it to be more vertical as I paint up into that micro tease. So our very first foil is complete. Again, there is a fine amount of hair in between the first foil that we place and the hairline. Now I'm going to be working my way up in this section, doing all heights. So now I'm moving into my lowlights using Redken Shades EQ. And for the formulation, I'm going to be using 06N and 07NB. And I'll be using gloss to gel because this is a more precision-like application. I tend to use gloss to gel for my zone 1 and my low light applications because also it helps with saturation. Now that we've completed our first section, it's time for us to move into this back triangle. Now, I want to call something out. Traditionally, after I foiled this side, I would move directly into the other side and mirror the technique. But we want to maximize your time today, your learning experience, which is why I'm showing you how to do one side and then moving into this interior. In the back of the head, what is important to understand about this specific section is, do you start with a high or a low? Because this is where we're going to start adding in both highlights and lowlights. In here, we do have some blonde that we want to not only break up, but also brighten. So the very first foil that we're gonna place is gonna be a high, and the last foil that we're gonna place in this section is also going to be a high. So I'm going to be shifting my placement to a horizontal, and I will be slicing still my highs, but weaving my lows. I chose to use Shades EQ because of the translucency of the product. If you notice, we still have quite a bit of blonde at the bottom of her hair. Am I looking to completely eliminate that? No, but this was an area where we had a significant amount of grow out. I'm going to shift the position of my brush from a horizontal to more of a vertical. We want that low light to just melt and transition into the lighter tone. We're going to kick those ends out of the way and we'll close up our foil. Shades EQ is my absolute favorite. If you haven't gotten an opportunity to yet, right here on the Redken YouTube channel, I have a 4-part series called Shades EQ 101. In this series, we do a deep dive into each of the individual shades within the Shades EQ line. We tell you how to use it, why to use it, and when to use it, as well as key formulation hacks to help simplify the choices that you're making when you're in the color room. Everything from understanding ratios to understanding background and reflect. We've now completed our back section. You have all of your foil work on your left side. Of course, like we said before, behind the chair, you would mirror this directly on the other side. And we've completed all of our foils up here at the top of the head. I'm actually gonna go in and do a large tip out because if you present the hair down and see, this is really gonna create a beautiful casting. So this is where our fun tease comes into play. You can take your entire section, hold this with lots of tension. So slightly look down, perfect, and then just resist me, and you're gonna pull with tension. Starting in the mid shaft, we're taking a little bit of a stronger tease. This is going to freak you out. We are going to be painting into this larger tease. So we're gonna lay our section down, make sure that the tease part is on the foil, and fully saturate with our Redken Blonde IQ 9+. We've now completed our entire back section, and it's time for us to move on to the front. You can see that we have a beautiful hairline here with just little natural areas of recession, a little bit of baby hairs. How do you navigate that successfully? So we're gonna go in and take a horizontal slice. We're gonna let all that hair fall and clip this out of the way. The very first foil that you place, you want to have a fine amount of hair in between the foil and the hairline. So our first section, we have a fine amount of hair in between. I did a very light tease, and I'm going to apply my Blonde IQ. She already is pretty light on her ends, so there's no reason why I need to fully pull this through the ends. Now, we're gonna go in, we're going to take another slice, to take our section, take a finer weave. And what I want you to do is split that weave. The top part of the weave, just marry it directly back into the interior. This is gonna be your back-to-back foil. You could be thinking, it kind of doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you just take a thicker slice if you're gonna do 2 back-to-back weaves? It really comes down to everything that we keep saying, the transitional points. I mean, a weave is going to be a softer transition, even if it is back-to-back, but also we're trying to create little pockets of high impact. So we just did a back-to-back weave. Now we're gonna start leaving hair out in between again. So we now have our 2 back-to-back foils. We have hair in between. Every 3 foils, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm gonna take the hair and I'm gonna find my client's part. In Madsy's case, it's a middle part. I'm gonna allow the hair to naturally fall. So don't force it. I just kind of want you to brush it and see where it ends up living. This, my friends, this is your one little piece of brown hair that falls into your face frame. This is now telling me, okay, let me go in and put in another foil. And then after I put in that foil, I'll stop what I'm doing and I will let the hair naturally fall. So now we're going to continue working on a horizontal all our way up within this section. But I want to show you something. Eventually you're going to get to a point where this is going to hit the peak of that triangle. Super easy. You're just going to take a horizontal slice and you'll part this right down the middle and you'll marry each of these sides into the side section. That is how you complete the interior. For the side section, I'm going to place a foil for you and then show you the direction in which you will be foiling for the remainder of the interior side foils. You're going to be taking a section on a pretty strong diagonal. I'll take a slight tease, and then when I paint, what I want you to notice is that I'm painting in the same direction that I want to promote the hair falling. We'll close this up. And now we're gonna work diagonal, diagonal, diagonal until you reach the very top of your client's ear. This is where you will pivot your foil direction to be on a horizontal over the ear. Then you're gonna shift back into your diagonal sections, fanning those foils until they become flush to the top parting line. And just like we did in the back of the head, you will leave a small veil of hair out in between the last foil that you placed and the actual part line. We'll come back when all of our foil work is completed to show you the end result of what that looks like. We've now completed our full foil application and we'll be processing and then shampooing and conditioning out. But I want to call something out. I mean, let's be real here. We're filming a class, so it's going to sometimes take a little bit longer than it would actually in salon behind the chair, where you have the ability to do a faster foil application and shampoo it out. So I wanted to explain to you why these foils are pulled. These foils were the first ones that we put in. They were fully processed. So I pulled the foils and I made sure to spray water on them to ensure that we are keeping the hair as healthy as we possibly can. So after everything processes, we're going to shampoo and condition it out, and then we will see you back for our toning segment. Now it is time for us to get into our Shades EQ toner service. Let's begin with our Zone 1 formulation. Equal parts 06N and 06NB. So if you notice, similar to the low light, but we just shifted the level of the NV. And I want to call something out. You're noticing that the hair is towel dried. We know it to be true that Shades EQ is its most effective when applied on 100% dry hair. And so I'm kind of breaking the rules right now. Listen, don't worry. I want you to understand the cause and effect when it comes to wet versus dry toning. Because if we're honest, a lot of stylists, including myself sometimes in the salon behind the chair, we do tend to do a wet application. It's okay to do that as long as you understand what you are sacrificing. So on dry hair, Shades EQ is going to have more longevity, more of the true tonal deposit, and you won't have a diluted canvas. Now, I have been using Shades EQ for my entire career, and it took a long time before I felt confident enough to do this application on towel dried hair. So I do encourage you, if you're newer to the Shades EQ line, make sure that you are following those rules just to make your introduction to understanding the application and also the proper formulation. Make sure that you are applying it to dry hair to start. It does take a lot of know-how and understanding of how to adjust your formulas before you can really start effectively applying this on towel dried hair. And now it's time for us to apply our zones 2 and 3. 09V, 09N, and 09G with clear. And the ratios are all equal parts. I'm keeping it as easy as possible for you. I'm going to be going in and starting right where I left off with my Zone 1 application. I'll start the application by moving my way all the way down the hair, getting as clean of an application as possible. And for the interior, I'll tuck my bottle in just to ensure that I'm truly getting the saturation that I need. Then I'm gonna go in with my paddle brush or wide tooth comb, and I'll brush through from Zone 1 to Zone 2 to Zone 3. So I'm gonna continue doing the rest of this toner service, let it fully process for 20 minutes, and then when I see you next time, this will be our finished look. Well, this is the end result of our 6-card stack. Madsy, how do you feel about your color?
I love it.
Oh, good. We're so glad because, something that's so important to keep in mind is with the 6-card stack, the success of it is more so about the sectioning than what is in the physical foil. Because as I said earlier, this technique could be used for all highs or a combination of highlights and lowlights like we did today, or even all lowlights. It's a versatile sectioning technique. The 6-card stack guarantees that you will have the perfect distribution in your color placement. If you remember, we talked at the very beginning of this class about making sure that you avoid any dark panels in the back. So if I take her hair and flip it up, what I want you to see is now we have complete cohesion throughout her hairline. She has depth in the back, but it's purposeful depth while still allowing her that when she presents her hair forward over her shoulders, she's gonna have the brightness that she's seeking. Check the description below for our full educational offering, level loyalty plan, and the products that I use today. When you give this look a try, be sure to tag Redken across all platforms so we can celebrate your wins. I'm Redken Global Artistic Ambassador Adrienne Dara, and this has been the 6-card stack technique. Get out there and implement this sectioning, and I can't wait to see the success that you have with it.